Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about what's in my bag for 2026. If y'all remember, I did a video a couple weeks back talking about what you need to become a beginner photographer, what kind of items are needed. So this is gonna be like the next iteration of that, talking about what you really wanna have to be a professional photographer or videographer. These are gonna be things that are in my bag. Obviously, a lot of it is probably gonna be opinionated, but hopefully it'll give you a little bit of insight on what you need if you're wanting to kind of take photography or videography to the next level, kind of taking that next step into your journey. Hopefully this will provide some insight, a little bit of encouragement going into 2026 if you made a New Year's resolution or something like that to really chase this professionally. I hope this will give you guys a good understanding and set you up for success going into this new year. I was gonna do a DaVinci editing tutorial, but I feel like I wanna do this one first, just it fits better closer to the beginning of the year. So next week, look out for an editing tutorial with DaVinci Resolve. And I'm just gonna give you guys like the very basics of getting into DaVinci so you guys can kind of get started. So let's just hop right into it. Okay guys, I'm gonna try to do this so you can see everything that's on the table, but we're gonna start with my bag itself. This is a Terry-on bag that I linked in my Amazon storefront. I've had this bag for like 4 years now and it has never left me stranded one time. It's held up really well. You have your main zipper here, really good. There's little pockets on the inside. So basically usually I have one more. This is kind of the setup that I use when I'm running and gunning. I put my photo camera and my lens like together in this pocket here, and I have any extras, any batteries, whatever it may be in this little pocket here. And then usually I just chuck my gimbal and stuff on the inside up here. I keep all my storage stuff here, my audio stuff here. It's really nicely separated and it just gets the job done. A lot of people carry Pelican cases, but this does the job for me, at least for now. Speaking of photo cameras, let's talk about mine. This is the Sony a7R III, and this has been my camera for 5 years now. I got this in 2021. So yeah, 5 years. It's been amazing for me. It's been through a lot of stuff with me, and it's not the most technologically advanced camera, and it's not the highest pixel count or anything like that, but this has been a really solid camera for me over the past 5 years. And I really don't see any reason to upgrade. I'm coming up on like 400,000 shutter count on this camera, which is insane. And it does not miss a beat. I turn it on, it turns on really quickly. Absolutely no issues. It still functions extremely fast for all of the rollers that I do and literally everything else. So highly recommend it if you're looking for a used camera or something like that with really high megapixel count, but something that's not too old. This is definitely the way to go. Now to attach to that, I do have a Sony G Master 16-35. This has been my go-to for things like rollers, real estate, interior shots, things of that nature. And then on my camera right now, I have a Sony G Master 2 24-70, which is my go-to for literally everything else. If I could only have one lens, I've said it before on this channel, it would literally be that 24-70. Obviously, I'm recording this on my Sony FX3, so if that kind of gives you an idea of recording with, it's just that. But back to it, I'm really just focusing on my like photography stuff first. So that's all I really use for like the photo side is just I have my body, those two lenses, and that's really it. We'll get into some accessories like SD cards, lighting and stuff like that a little bit later on in this video, but let's roll into video. The number one thing that I always recommend to people is a gimbal. So this is my Ronin RS4 Pro. At the time of this recording, this is the highest tier gimbal from DJI. I have heard rumors that an RS5 is coming soon. I don't know if that's gonna be true or not, but if it is, then I will be upgrading this to an RS5 Pro. Probably, I'm assuming there will be some worthwhile upgrades. If not, I'm just gonna keep this. It has been an absolute beast for me over the past, 2 years that I've had it or so. The vertical mount shooting is amazing. The car mode is amazing. Really, if you can afford this as part of your kit, I highly recommend it. If not, the RS3 Pro and the RS4 are still amazing options. Keep in mind, I use this for all of my cinematic shots. So anytime I'm doing any kind of smooth painting shots or follow shots using this with my car mount, this is the way to go. If I'm gonna be filming any kind of action shots, any kind of interior shots, what I'll do is I'll actually rig up my FX3 with this little setup right here. Now, let's kind of take this step by step. So we'll start with this, which is the top handle. This literally just sits on the FX3 and allows me to carry it a little bit easier. Or if I'm getting some low slung shots, I can kind of, dip this down and get like a nice low shot if needed. This is my side handle, which also has a record button on it. It's a really handy tool if I'm like pulling focus or something like that and I can't press record on my actual FX3. This is really nice to just be able to press this. It's just a little USB that goes to my camera and allows for a little bit more fluidity in being able to record. This is what's called a V-mount plate, and this is my V-mount battery. It's a 99 watt battery from SmallRig, literally 150 bucks, nothing crazy about it. But this basically just clips V-mount. That's why it's called, V-mount, because you have an actual V-mount on it. But this just clips in, and then you have your V-mount all set up here. And this will attach to my, like this, to my camera plate on the bottom, this piece right here. It'll just slide on in and it'll allow me to basically press this against my chest and have more stable shooting whenever I'm using that for, we can just call this handheld instead of gimbal use basically. Which the last thing along those lines is my focus ring. This will attach to my FX3 on the right side, and then I can attach the actual focus ring here, and it allows me to either pull focus or pull zoom while I'm shooting. So while I have it up against my chest, I can have my hand kind of underneath and I can pull zoom as needed. Those are the really basic things that I would have for my handheld rig. Super essential to have, very helpful in run and gun situations where you're doing like fast follows and you can't really use a gimbal. I really highly recommend that at the very least you get a top handle and you get a side handle. With those two things, you can basically do any kind of handheld shooting. Those few things over there just kind of make things easier, let me record for longer, yada, yada, yada. Okay, those out of the way. Obviously, you need an HDMI cord. I just have this from SmallRig, very nice. I have a little elbow adapter thing, which is just useful for my monitor. Speaking of which, this is the monitor that I use. It's an Atomos Ninja 5. It does have a SSD inside. And then I also have a extended battery for it, which is from SmallRig. It just lets me have a little bit longer battery life because the batteries that come with this are extremely bad. So I just have a little MovMax adapter that lets me screw it onto either like the top handle or my gimbal or whatever, but basically I just screw this in. And then whenever I'm holding my FX3, I'll have the feed showing to my monitor. I would say if there was one other, keep saying this, if there's one other essential thing you need to have, it's a monitor. I have mine zip tied because this battery is a little bit heavy and I knocked it and it kind of caused this to split. But you do what you gotta do. I'm not spending another $500 on a monitor. So speaking of batteries, I always carry 4 extra Sony batteries with me. I have one in my camera and one in my FX3 right now, but I always carry a bunch of extra batteries just in case. Usually don't need them, but you never know. Since we're going ahead and getting into extras, there's not really any major things that we need. I'll start with my audio that I use. I use Ceramonic microphones. A lot of people like to use the DJI. They're great, they're amazing, don't get me wrong. Ceramonics are just a little bit cheaper, which is nice because sometimes I have to replace them. I'm throwing them on cars or tractors or RTVs or whatever it may be. You're gonna lose them, it's gonna happen. So having those little bit cheaper mics that are a little bit easier to replace is super helpful. Next up, let's talk about SD cards because I feel like this is a very underrated thing that people kind of just like cheap out on and pass on, but you need a really good set of SD cards. And I have 2 of these. These are Lexar 256 gigabyte SD cards, obviously V90. You need to have a V90 card, especially if you're shooting with anything that's 4K, 300 megabit read speed, 260 megabit write speed, very important to have. I have one of those in my FX3 as well, so I carry 2 of those, and then I have a couple extra SD cards for whatever needs to be used. This is the Lexar as well, just 128 gigabyte, and then this is a pro grade, very similar stats, V90, 300 and 250, and it's 128. So I'll use this for any extra recording that I need to do, or maybe if I just have a small shoot and I haven't offloaded the stuff from my 256 gigabyte cards, I'll use those. Kind of speaking on storage, these are the SSDs that I use. They're both 4 terabyte cards. I have this one labeled as the months, but they're SanDisk Extreme Pros, and this one is like the upgraded version. It's a couple $100 more. With the storage issue that's going on right now, I have reverted back to these, but these just have basically a higher read-write speed. They're much easier to use than something that's like cloud-based because you can just grab these. You don't have to worry about having internet connection or whatever it may be to download your videos or photos. you just have a physical thing and you can just grab it off the physical thing. And I think I have like 10 of these in my drawers, but they're super, super nice to have. Eventually I'm gonna get a server and download all my footage to a server, offload all of these onto the hard drives on the server, and then I can start using these again because they are expensive. They're like $300 or $400 a piece. So, you know, I'm going through a couple grand a year, which is definitely expensive. So invest in a server and hopefully that'll help me a little bit more. Basically all the hardware that I use, if you guys are interested, this is my laptop that I'm gonna be using this year. This is another one of those SanDisk cards. It's yet another one that I have. This is a MacBook Pro from 2021. So it has the M1 chip in it. It is definitely getting a little bit slow, especially when I'm using DaVinci. It's really nice to have the portable, you know, laptop and be able to edit on the go. But I think I am gonna upgrade whenever the M5, I think it's the M5 Max, whenever that comes out, and hopefully sometime this spring, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade to that so I don't have to use this for everything. This will still be used for quick edits or photos if I'm on the go. But for the most part, it'll be like an actual Mac Studio, a dedicated monitor and everything. So this has been amazing to me. I've used it for, what, 5 years now, which is insane to think about, but it is about time for it to go, unfortunately. A couple other things I like to have in the bag, one of them being my lights. These are from Aperture. They're pretty cool. They have little tripods on them. So they're what I'm using for my extra lighting right now, the blue and the pink, but they have really good battery life. They are very bright and they can be mounted either vertically or horizontally. So there's a screw for vertical mounting here and horizontal mounting here. They also are magnetic, so I can stick them to, you guys can't really see that. I can stick it to my toolbox and it will just stay there. Super, super nice to have. They're small enough to go in a car. They're bright enough to do studio work like this in. Highly recommend if you're looking for just small little tube lights, grab a couple of those and you have really good lighting already. Speaking of lighting, let's talk about one of the most important things in my bag, and I'm actually using it right now. This is my SmallRig RC120B, and I have 2 of these lights, so I'm using one right now. This is my other one, but these are basically the lights that I use for all my nighttime shots. If I have any shots that I need to kind of set up with artificial lighting, if there's not enough natural lighting, whatever it may be. If I'm in a house, I use this for when I shoot like flooring companies or real estate, whatever it may be. These are super helpful to have. And they're what are called, I think, COB lights, but pretty powerful, especially with 2 of them. They're how I got these shots of this M3CS. Obviously, I played with the little wands a little bit for those, you know, light painting shots or whatever. If you're gonna be getting into like actual professional stuff, it took me a while to take the plunge, but I really encourage you to go ahead and send it if you've been thinking about it. Really the last thing I have is my car mount rig, which you guys have seen before. I use it for all of my video rollers, and I do have this Move Max In Control controller. Freaking sweet looking controller. Everybody loves it whenever they see it. It's so funny. Yeah, for the most part, I really just use it for my rollers. I'm not gonna unbox it and everything because you guys have seen it before. If you haven't, I'll link the video to using this. Kind of going along with my car mount, obviously this is a little bit different, but I do have some small other mounting systems for my action cam. So this is something that can clip onto like a bike or a license plate, a wing, whatever it may be. This is a really cool clamp that I have. And then I have another one for just some larger stuff or tubes. If someone has like a roll cage in their car, this is really cool to be able to attach that roll cage and then put my action cam on there. I do also have a suction cup for my larger FX3, and then I have a couple of these SmallRig magic arms that will basically screw into the suction cup or the clamp, and then I can screw them into the action cam or my FX3, and it allows me to mount them in some various different ways. So it makes it a little bit easier to mount. I also use this to mount my monitor whenever I'm doing rolling shots. So this is a huge help to me. I will probably pick up a couple more of these this year. SmallRig. I think this is, I'm sure SmallRig makes some of these. This I think I just got off Amazon, C-Sky, it's probably Amazon. This, I don't even remember. This is SmallRig, yeah, that's SmallRig. And I think this is SmallRig too. Yeah, this is SmallRig too. So super helpful mounting systems, but not something that's necessarily needed for like beginner intermediate, but I would really recommend you have this if you're a professional and you're trying to get some really extra cool shots. So that's about it for the mounting. Going to lenses, I have a couple indies. So I have this K&F Concept ND 2 to 400, and then I also have a polarizer that's on this lens right now. This is also K&F Concept. It's the Nano X Pro. Love this CPL. TPLs are quite necessary if you're ever shooting any kind of car or bike related thing. And then on my video camera right now, I have a K&F Concept 2-in-1 Nano Pro, whatever. I'll link it, but I love this. There's no vignetting, even if it's all the way out. And that's what I have an issue with when I stack this polarizer with that ND filter. I always have an issue with vignetting. So super cool that this doesn't have any of the vignetting issues, and I absolutely love it. A lot of stuff. And this isn't, it's crazy to me that this isn't even half of it. I also have a couple tripods like I'm using for this right now. I also have some C-stands for my lights and everything. If you guys are interested, I'll do a video setting up like lighting and stuff like that. I don't know if that's something that you guys would want to see, but yeah, just a couple different kind of tripods, monopods. I have a tripod that blue light is on over there. Forgot to show you guys this. It's a little, that's really annoying probably for you guys, but this is a little lens cleaner. It just blows the dust off the lenses and stuff, so, or sensor or whatever it may be. So highly recommend that you guys pick one of those up, especially if you're shooting in dusty conditions. Well, that's it for my equipment. In 2026, there are a couple things that I want to pick up. Number one, I think probably being, like I said, a new computer. Whenever the Studio M5 whatever chip comes out, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up with a new monitor. The other thing I really want to get that's like an actual piece of equipment would be the Tilta Nucleus 2M Nano or something like that. But it's like the ultimate kit, and basically it'll allow me to control zoom, focus, ND, and f-stop all at the same time, which would be absolutely incredible. So I'm hoping before I really get back into the swing of things, probably starting in like February or March, I can pick that up. But yeah, other than those two things, I'm really happy with where my bag is now. I'm sure there are things that are gonna come out that I'm gonna want to pick up throughout the year. I hope this kind of gives you an idea of what it takes to invest in a business like this, because I really didn't understand until I started like really investing, and I was like, wow, this is expensive. Just understand that there is a lot of sacrifice that has to be made if you're wanting to do something like this professionally, but it is something that's worth it. I'm very blessed to be in the position that I am, to be able to do something that I love for a job every day. They say if you love your job, you don't work a day in your life. I don't think that's true. There's still a lot of work, and there's things that I don't like to do that I have to do. I think turning your passion into a job can be a very scary thing, and it can make you lose your passion. And I've seen a lot of photographers and videographers lose their passion because they tried to take this to the next level and it becomes their only job, and then they're like, wow. If you can get over that initial like kind of shock of like all the work that has to be put in, and you can really get yourself set up for success, I think you'll understand how much this passion that we have can lead you to super cool opportunities and super blessed adventures. So I'm really grateful for you guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this. I'm loving YouTube. I think you guys are loving it too. My goal in 2026 is to become a better version of myself, and hopefully help you guys become better versions of yourselves. And if even one person messages me and tells me that it's helped them become a better photographer, videographer, person, whatever it may be, then I'm satisfied. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Look for the next one, because we're going to be doing DaVinci, and DaVinci sucks to learn. So I'm going to be giving you guys some really baseline things of how to edit in DaVinci, because when I first jumped into it, it was pretty hard. But if you can kind of get like the basic things down and kind of rewire your brain, it comes so much easier, so much more naturally. So that'll be next week. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Have a good week. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.